Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Going to IE University podcast. I'm your host, Nick Besso, and today our special guests are Sofía Rondán and Miguel Amengual. Hi Miguel, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
And Sofía Rondán, staff here at IE University. Miguel is a second-year student studying data, is that correct?
Exactly. I'm a second year now, and I just moved to the Madrid campus.
Awesome. Very fun. So tell us a little about your experience, Miguel, how it's been so far.
Well, so far, I started last year here at the Segovia campus, middle of COVID, pandemic, liquid learning came into place, and now I just moved to Madrid campus. It's a new year, and so far I've had to experience many different things at IE that I'd love to share here with you guys today.
Yeah, so you mentioned liquid learning. How has that been? How has that been so far?
Well, in the beginning, first months were rough. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot to get used to. It was video conference, asynchronous activities, not being able to see maybe my classmates face to face every single day. But once you get into that dynamic, it's just a great way to keep learning, even when the conditions outside may be tough, and we might be able to have to kind of change the way we used to work.
Absolutely. And how did you feel that transition from liquid learning now to more in person? How was that? Did you feel connected to your classmates and your professors as much more than before?
Well, honestly, liquid learning allowed me to always be connected to my classmates and professors, just like if we were face to face. But it's true that this year it's been great to actually get to know all of them now that we're all in the classroom. We get to do more networking events and actually participate and interact in class like normal.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of leads me to my next point, which is what kind of resources do you feel you can capitalize the most on here at IE University?
Well, there's resources that go beyond the classroom. On one hand, we have in the classroom with very interactive classes that we're part of the learning. But then we also get resources outside of the classroom. That's extracurriculars. We get to do hands-on activities, get what we learn every day to real job experiences. We also get to participate in labs, sports, where we build on above our bachelors. We go into the person. And yeah, I would say those are the main resources I've noticed at IE.
So talk to me a little more about the lab situation, because I think most people probably, off the top wouldn't really know what that is. What is a lab here at IE?
A lab at IE is a real job experience that you can get in your first or second year in your undergraduate degree. And it's basically, you can choose from a wide variety of topics, from economics, data, law, design, architecture. And there you get to work with a real company on real projects with your classmates, and you get to kind of build that CV from the very beginning.
Amazing. That's a great opportunity. I personally took a lab last year, did the communications lab, and I found it really formative for my experience as a student, especially in the production realm, doing things with video and audio and really learning the ins and outs of the different hardwares and softwares. And I definitely recommend the labs for anybody interested in some more professional experience. So the university is very focused on entrepreneurship, it feels like. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you guys empower the students to become entrepreneurs and, follow their passions and dreams?
Definitely. Actually, entrepreneurship is one of our pillars, which means that we take it as a philosophy and it is applied in a transversal way. It doesn't mean that if you are studying, for instance, law, you will be more, connected with that entrepreneurship spirit compared to another person who might be studying data. It doesn't matter what bachelor degree you study at IE, you will have this entrepreneurship stimulation any other day. What we try to work with entrepreneurship, with this entrepreneurship philosophy, is to allow our students to be able to turn their ideas into reality, to make some projects which they may have in mind and make them tangible. It usually applies to a business project, for example. You have a business idea and you need the tools, the skills, and the abilities to build that idea into a real project with, finance, workers, designs, etc. But it can also be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a business plan. It can also be writing a novel or maybe a personal aspiration that you may have. So what you will learn at IE University is to develop these ideas of yours and try to make them a real and tangible thing. I'm not sure, Miguel, if you have already had any experience like such.
Yeah, well, during my first years at IE, as a student myself, I've seen entrepreneurship every day in my daily life. To begin with, we have the startup lab and the venture lab to, as you said, make our business projects a reality. We have the humanities prizes that really encourage students to build up on those writing skills, get out there, really do their work. And also, I've seen many opportunities for students to start actually working entrepreneurship, seeing themselves, as you said before, as their leaders of tomorrow. And that's through junior enterprises that interact with other universities around Europe in consulting projects, business development, or whatever field anyone's interested in.
So, Miguel, how did you hear about IE University?
Well, it was actually really random. I was already in another university. I already applied, and I was 100% sure about it. And then one day, in the middle of the pandemic, when we were in lockdown, a friend told me about IE. I started doing some research, looking at how they're going to implement that liquid learning to deal with COVID the next year. And actually, I found my Bachelor Data and Business Analytics, which is not very offered at many universities in Spain at the moment. So I saw IE as the opportunity I was looking for. It was kind of my dream university. It sounds kind of a cliche, but it was true. I went from studying at another university to transitioning to IE right away when I found out about all the other opportunities and the main attributes that described it.
So can you run us through some of these factors that made you want to switch from the university you were at the time to over to IE?
Okay, so the first thing I looked at was the website, and it really drew me in, and I was captivated by all these programs, innovation, all the opportunities you had from the very beginning, your first year at university. I also wanted to pursue an education in English, which was one of the other reasons why I chose IE. And then when I saw the international environment that he had, I really knew I wanted to be at a place where I could interact with people from all over the world, learn from more than just a classroom, learn about their backgrounds, what they had to teach me. Because I think that at IE, you don't only learn from your professors, but you also get to exchange ideas from the people around you. Absolutely.
So after you were looking at the website and after you had that initial appeal, or IE University, was initially appealing to you, of course you applied. And how was that admissions process from the beginning to where it's all written to the interview to the questions? How was that for you?
Be careful what you say.
Other than terrible, obviously.
I would say that the first part of the application is actually pretty easy. Just fill out your information, write those essays, get everything straight away. But then you move on to the career assessment, and you have to talk to your camera for 2 minutes straight.
Maybe you should
terrifying.
Explain what the career assessment is about.
Yeah, so the career assessment is basically, it's a software that records you for 2 minutes. It's like an interview when you get asked random questions about whatever topic career decides to ask you.
You get asked 3 questions, one in technology and innovation, one in diversity. And these 2 are the ones that you have to record yourself. And then the third one is a humanities question that you have to answer by writing. Yeah. And you have only 1 minute to write your answer.
Obviously, that was a long time ago.
Do you remember your questions?
Yes. One of my questions was, what would you do if the word no disappeared from the dictionary?
I love this
if
one.
The word no
disappeared from the dictionary. When I saw that, I went blank.
You could just cite Yes Man. Isn't that a Jim Carrey movie? Don't remember how it goes, but.
But after that interview, you feel a lot more confident. Then honestly, the face-to-face interview with the staff from IE is really easy. They are really there for you. It's just a simple conversation to get to know you a little bit more, your ambitions, why IE, and then from that point on, then, you know.
Yeah, I actually remember quite a bit from that time. The representative from North America, because I came here from California, her name was Micah. You're probably familiar with her. It was a super personal, we had very personal interactions. So, and this was before the interview process. So I remember feeling, much more confident in what I was doing. And I felt like, the staff was much more personable than I had heard other universities' staff were. So I think that's something that's very unique to IE University. And can you speak a little to that and how you
it's actually
this?
Something that we look for. We try to make all of our processes and all of our we try to make all of our admission processes as personal as we can. As you may know, other institutions, what they look for is a very strong academic profile or a certain academic profile for a person who's going to be admitted to their institutions. At IE University, definitely the academic standards are high, but we also take a look into the other aspects of the person and the profiles, meaning, for instance, what have you been doing, Miguel, for example, outside of class? If you come already from another university, how many languages do you speak? What are your ambitions? What are your future plans? Where would you like to build up your career? And due to that, our admission process must be very, first of all, long for us to get to know the person and get to know their ideas and ambitions. And at the same time, our, journey has to be very personalized. Otherwise, it is very hard to get to know the person behind the admission process.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to how long the admissions process was.
I know it's long, but it's worth it.
Yep. So Miguel and potentially Sofia as well, but definitely Miguel first here. If you could sum up your IE experience in one word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what would it be?
Well, that's a tough question, but I would just say exciting. I think IE is an exciting place to be at. From your classes to classmates to taking those electives, getting to know, of course, Segovia and Madrid is a really exciting process. And yeah, that's how I describe my time at IE so far.
The first word that came into my mind was fun, but being a little bit more, official here, I would say complete.
Innovation.
How can I say innovation here?
I don't know. You could. You can't say driving though.
It is innovative. No, I would say it's complete. Actually, it's a very complete experience.
I agree with that. Nice.
Do you agree? Is it fun for you?
Is it fun for me?
How would you describe it?
How would I describe it?
Of course, yes. One word.
Honestly, I would say inspiring, because I find that a lot of people around me, my classmates, people that aren't even technically my classmates, my university mates, if that's a term, they're always looking for something to do or doing something or starting something or in the process of creating something that a lot of the time I am frankly, I'm wowed. I'm like, wow. Mm-hmm. Wowed is a real word, I swear.
Wow.
But I'm always very
so
impressed.
American.
Yeah, I'm very impressed at Canadian, not American.
Okay.
But I'm always very impressed at the different ventures and initiatives that people are taking on here at IE as students. Mm-hmm. And, everybody's quite young and it's very impressive. So I would say inspiring.
Okay.
So Miguel, tell me a little about your personal experience with extracurriculars here at IE.
Well, last year here in Segovia, I joined the track club. And this year I had the chance to actually join the track team in Madrid. And it's been a great experience. And I've also been able to join some clubs temporarily. Last year I was part of the programming club, but this year I've chosen to work on a junior enterprise, so no clubs this year. But
So what is a junior enterprise?
a junior enterprise is basically a company founded by university students. It's actually a network, worldwide network of universities around, and they basically aim to provide services to startups. It'd be like the consulting for startups who don't have the resources yet to actually get those consulting services, business development, law.
So are you personally involved in a startup right now? Can you tell us a little about your idea?
Yeah, right now I'm involved in GA Consulting, which is a junior enterprise here at IE, mainly composed of IE students from both undergrad and masters. And we basically provide consulting services to companies, startups founded by IE students. And it's such a great opportunity just not only get those consulting skills, but also network, get to know a lot of people, and get involved in that startup world.
If I can just say one thing here on top of the club, opportunities that you guys have, I believe it's the best idea to start building your network, even if it's a social one. So you can maybe choose clubs of your interest and make them, smooth things for you and your personality. For example, the cooking club. It's a very easy way to get to know people that also enjoy your passion about cooking, for example. Or maybe try to make it a more professional network by maybe joining clubs just like the debate club, for instance. While you improve your public speaking skills, you can also get to meet people not just from the university and your bachelor degree, but also from the master's program, which I believe for a junior profile, first year, second year student at IE University, it's very inspiring to get to know people from master's degrees, since they are also more senior profiles, and that they can bring also, their professional experiences so far, and that can also be very enriching for you. And the last thing that I wanted to mention about clubs is that you can take it as serious as you want. You can maybe even get to compete against other universities. I know that some sports clubs, they do competitions, but maybe you can also just take it easy and get to gather around with your friends and make it more a social network thing, especially if you maybe get to land in Segovia or land in Madrid without getting to know anyone. It's a very easy way to make new friends, not just from your class, but people who share interests with you.
And that's all for today's episode of the IE University podcast. I'm your host, Nick Besso, and today we had Miguel Amengual and Sofía Rondán with us. Thanks a lot for coming, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks to
much.
you.